federal agencies, but now there is some concern among the intelligence efficiency was handed a win Friday after a federal judge said DOGE can continue to access sensitive records from at least 3 federal agencies. But now there is some concern among the intelligence community about some of that data shared by DOGE. What can you tell us about that?
So DOGE has been, remember, Phil, posting some of its work, not all of it, but some of its work on a web portal and on an X feed. And Elon Musk has pointed folks.
Well, welcome on into another episode of the Healthy Discussion Show. Now, today's topic, we're going to talk about the judge green lighting Elon Musk and Trump to actually have the green light on all bureaus, from the Department of Defense to the Pentagon to the IRS, right? They consider him a private contractor that was contracted by the government, and he has top security clearance with a team that's planning on finding out the numbers so they can see where they can make a cut at, what they can all come to an agreement on and shine light on the actual problem, right? Because the problem is simply budgeting. If you want to get rich in the world, you have to have a budget, right? You have to know what's coming in and what's going out, right? That's just common law. I don't know why they're so scared. But before I get into this, the only thing I ask for you guys to do is smash that like button, share this video, get me to 10,000 subs. That's all I ask. I appreciate the people for emailing this so I can react to it. Hit the AirTag EMF protector. I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat. Let's dive into the show. Can we talk about it? Well, let's discuss.
To both of those things to say, look at what DOGE is doing. And posted on its website was information about an agency called the National Reconnaissance Office. It's not what comes to mind initially when you think of a spy agency or an intelligence agency, but it has a very specific role in which it builds, maintains, and keeps an eye on the satellites that the U.S. uses for reconnaissance and for spying, frankly. This is an agency in which the budget and the head count were posted up online, and you're not really supposed to have that information for a classified agency whose work is often classified, posted online. It's a budget.
They come up with whatever rhetoric for them to get to the truth. The truth is that they need to see those numbers. If the numbers was a problem, they need to know where this money is going. That's the ultimate truth. I don't know why they keep on trying to evade and trying to paint a picture as if, depending on what news channels you have. If you watch ABC, CNN, NBC, they're always going to push a certain narrative a certain way, right? They're getting paid by the industry that actually runs the media company or media company. If you watch a little bit of Fox 5, you get a different angle of it, right? But I tell people, do your own research and formulate your own conclusions. That's all I'm saying. Let's continue.
I think fraud in the government is actually like a really worthwhile cause to try to combat. The challenge is that has literally nothing to do with what the Bureau of Fiscal Service does or what this Treasury payments ecosystem is.
So if you're on the hunt for that, you don't go here.
You certainly don't. That doesn't sit in the Bureau of Fiscal Service. That sits at the agencies.
The Treasury Department has told Congress Musk's associates cannot change any payments, that they have had so-called read-only.
Is the system safe today? I believe it is, and I will tell you, we are very strongly committed to the integrity, efficacy, resilience, and all those things of this system. And people do depend on this in a big way, and we're committed to that.
An unelected billionaire and his hacksters' dangerous attempts to access Americans.
Look at the narrative that they push, the hacksters. They're not hacking anything. They're literally going to Congress and asking for permission. And guys had a kickback about them actually having permission to see what's going on. And Congress actually agreed with them. So what's going on with the rhetoric and what's going on with the defamation of character saying that you got hackers? They're not hackers. But leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think. Now, let's go on to, I wanted to talk about the Pentagon because now they have access to the Pentagon as well. And what do you guys think about them having access, and why is it so important for them not to have access depending on who you are and what you stand for? Let's continue.
It's like that old saying from the bank robbers. Why do I rob banks? Because that's where the money is. There's a whole lot more money being spent and probably wasted in the Department of Defense than USAID and all these other places that they've been looking at.
And let's get into that in some more detail. DOGE, as it continues to tear through these federal agencies, Elon Musk and company, look at what they've been going after here. The layoffs are underway, thousands of recent hires. The access to the IRS, which we were talking about a few minutes ago, reportedly getting ready to make cuts at the Pentagon. You know, you heard in the clip there, Chris Hahn was talking about, that's the big one right there. That's where a lot of the money is. So for Elon, he's in many ways bringing the same approach he brought to Twitter, right? When he took over that company, he came in really aggressively at Twitter and laid a lot of people off, right, at the beginning of that. But the important part, when you think about it from the government's point of view.
But why did he lay a lot of people off? Because he understands that Twitter, you don't need 100% of people operating Twitter when they're operating on a 20%. So they actually save 80% of the money, increase their profit margin, right? And they only operate on a 20% because the computer runs itself. So how many people do you need just sitting around, right? Just getting paid to do absolutely nothing? It kind of made sense. And he's applying the same pressure here because you have to go in mighty. You have to go in strong, especially when you're up against an enemy that's ultra strong. That's massive. So he's going against the United States government, and not really against them. He just wants to make the government a better place to be by tracking these things, by knowing what's the numbers. I don't understand why most channels paint this as a bad thing. Most Democrats gonna look at it as a bad thing because y'all gonna say, well, he's the president, anything but the truth. He's the president. Elon Musk is telling Trump what to do. No, they're simply business partners, and they have their best. Both of them have their best interests. If I hired my business partner, that's absolutely the number one company in the world as far as billions, right? Why wouldn't I hire the best person to do the job? Obviously, he's the best person to do the job, and maybe that's the problem. Because if it was anybody else, I don't think we would have this frantic. If it was anyone else, I don't think that people would be so appalled. If it was anyone else, I don't think that the Democratic Party or the extreme leftists will actually have a problem. But the fact that it's people that's going against their cause and opening up and letting people know, hey, look at the numbers. These people lie. Everyone lies, but look at the numbers because the numbers tell the truth. And the numbers is looking mighty funny. Leave your thoughts down below. How does those numbers look to you? How does these programs that they claim that is for the benefit of the people, why aren't they benefiting people? Or why haven't they been benefiting people in so long? Can anyone answer that question? Or you guys used to getting robbed? Because it seems as if the mass amount of people that don't speak up, they're used to getting robbed, putting their money into a cause and not seeing anything in return and or no effect. From the Department of Education to these after school programs to a lot of things that they decided to cut or just look at the budget and look at the numbers and say, no. Why are you sending money to Pakistan, USAid? Why are you sending money to Medicare, Obama? Yeah, I know Medicare is owned by Obama, right? Just letting you guys know. Trillions of dollars was sent overseas to that cause. So people that didn't even qualify. Y'all must like y'all money being spent and misrepresented and just talk about it and act like nothing happened. Like, come on. Can we talk about it? Let's continue.
I think this is true. I said earlier that two things can be true at once. Sometimes it's far more than two. So yes, they're doing some crazy stuff. Maybe they're doing some illegal stuff, but they're also finding some crazy stuff. Here's Elon earlier in the week.
All the retirement paperwork is manual on paper. It's manually calculated, then written down on a piece of paper. Then it goes down a mine. And I'm like, what do you mean a mine? Like, yeah, there's a limestone mine where we store all the retirement paperwork.
So this is actually a real thing that he's talking about. It's crazy. I mean, a lot of his claims about government waste either kind of lack evidence or maybe sometimes they're just not accurate. This one is accurate. It's true. With this mine, so this is the post that Doge put on social media about all of this. Retirement paperwork. So you're talking about thousands of federal employees. It's really processed by hand, and it's really stored in this old limestone mine, 230 feet underground in Pennsylvania. The paper records, I mean, this is a perfect example, right, of the kind of waste that Musk says he's targeting. We go back, there's a report from 2014. They found from multiple administrations spending at least $100 million trying to automate the record system. Apparently they have little to show for it though, right? Since it's still done by hand in this mine. I mean, literally, they haven't been able to automate it after all this time. As for how much Doge is saving the government with all this, that part's not really clear. We break it down here. There's not a ton of data out from them, but what we do know.
Let me correct you, Mr. Newsman, News Nation, because now I know who you're working for. The 1%, he only saved the 1% so far, thus far. The 1% saved over $100 billion. Do y'all get it? What if he get to 2%? What if he get to 10%? What if he get to 25% of cutting all the excess fat, the obesity that America has a problem with? What if he cut all the excess fat? I'm just saying, if he cut all the excess fat and he's on the path of actually making America, this should be a slogan, make America profitable again. How about that? How about that? Someone coined that term because I can't do everything. Make America profitable again. That's all I'm saying, because obviously we're not profitable. Make things be made in America. How about that? Make entrepreneurship rise in the America. Make crypto great in America. I think that's something that's worth fighting for. Think about it like this. We've been running through the same game for over 100 years and nothing changed. All I see is broken heart and false promises. That's all I see. Everyone's walking around heartbroken. Why? Because they're being lied to. So what happens when you've been lied to by the masses? You become a liar yourself. Most. You become a liar yourself because you become in denial of what's actually going on and what's actually literally taking place right in front of your face. They've been doing this so much for so long that they don't even care if you find out. So imagine that. The question would then be, people, when are you going to stand up for yourself? What's really worth it to you? When are you going to join? When are you going to draw that line in the sand saying this is what I stand for and this is what I don't stand for? I stand for accountability. I think America is on the verge of being accountable for the first time. And these people are putting their life on the line to actually try to change something. Will this all change in 4 years? Perhaps not. But the fact that they're attempting this thing is all the hopium that you need. And they're doing a marvelous job at it. It haven't been that long since this man been inaugurated. The 21st. It is now what? The 16th? The 17th to be exact? Not even 30 days yet. And he's all aboard. He's getting results. He's shaking the room. He's shaking the United States. And I think that's what's needed. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting the same result. Am I correct? Well, I think the world is becoming very much that place, especially America. So the only way to change this, right, is to attack insanity with accountability. Can we talk about it? Leave your thoughts down below. It's not about what I think. I really want to know what you think.
Is that the parts of the budget they've targeted so far, employee payroll, foreign aid, that's a small share, right? Compared to the overall, it's like 5% combined, whereas the big money is the Medicare and defense. So like if you combine those two right here, this is the combination.
Can I talk about one more thing? Because there's so much to talk about. Well, let's discuss. Look at Medicaid and Medicare and who owns that. I'm here to tell you this is a public service announcement. The Obamas own Medicaid and Medicare. So if you follow the money, Obama's getting rich off of these miscellaneous budgeting defaults or mishaps. Yes. Big facts. Big facts. He's basically causing a problem and creating a solution. It's a term for that. When you cause your own problem and then you create your own solutions. Madness or mastermind, whatever you want to call it. So when you think about Medicaid and Medicare, know that that's owned by an Obama trust, which means that it's owned by the Obamas, the family. Just saying, do your research and do your homework. Don't believe anything I say. Look it up yourself. Look it up yourself and then come back and say, you know what, Mr. Healthy Discussion, this was actually correct. You led me somewhere. Can't make you drink the water. I can only lead you. Let's go.
Of Medicare and defense. As we're saying, you go after defense, then all of a sudden you're talking about some real money. Elon Musk and Doge. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to join and.
Well, I'm gonna leave you guys on that note, right? I'm gonna make this nice, short, and sweet. Smash that like button. Tell a friend and tell a friend. This is the beginning. This is not the end. At the end of the day, I really want to have a healthy discussion. I want to know what you guys think about this. How it affecting your family? How is it affecting your friends? Maybe your government neighbors? How is it affecting us as a conglomerate, as a whole? Is it helping us or is it harming us? Is it beneficial to the United States of America? Can we make America profitable again? That should be the ultimate question. Can we make the jobs and create the jobs and innovation, not overseas, right, but right here? Because we have the ability to do it for the first time in history. We can do it through technology. We can do it to you and I. We can do it if everyone is on the same accordance or their same accord. On that note, peace, blessings, and love. And you guys know how I like to end the show. Positive.